Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been paying any attention to the digital economy lately, you already know the side hustle landscape has completely shifted. We are totally past the era of grinding out every single manual task yourself. Today, AI can literally handle anywhere from 70 to 95% of the heavy lifting. But here's the catch. With that kind of crazy power comes a massive gold rush of people trying to make a quick buck. So how do you actually know where to invest your time? Well, today we're going to objectively break down 7 different AI-powered opportunities. We're ranking them based on their barrier to entry to build what we're calling the opportunity ladder. So here's our roadmap for the climb today. First up, the AI money revolution. Then high competition AI hustles, followed by the medium competition middle. After that, we'll hit the blue ocean AI opportunities and wrap up with choosing your AI path. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1. The AI money revolution.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source material lays out this incredible premise for the revolution we're seeing right now. Across a lot of the business models we're about to cover, artificial intelligence is actually handling up to 95% of the workload. Just think about that split for a second. The AI is doing the research, the coding, the writing, the editing, the whole shebang. And that tiny 5% slice left over, that's you. Your job isn't to be the worker bee anymore. Your job is to be the brain, providing the taste, the high-level strategy, and the direction. Moving on to part 2, high competition AI hustles. Let's start with level 1 of our ladder. These are the highly competitive, easy-to-start methods, starting with AI clipping. The strategy here is super straightforward. Big creators are sitting on mountains of long-form content, right? And they know short-form clips are the absolute currency of attention on places like TikTok and Instagram. The source breaks down a really precise playbook for capitalizing on this. First, you find a creator on a marketplace, like Content Rewards, for example. Second, you just drop their long-form video into an AI tool like Opus Clips. The AI automatically scrubs through, finds the viral moments, and slaps on captions. Third, you post daily. And fourth, you analyze the data and double down on whatever hits. The source even highlights a campaign paying $1 per 1,000 views just for clipping Lionel Messi videos. Hit 100,000 views and boom, you just made $100 purely for curating the right moments. But let's do a quick reality check here on the scorecard. The learning curve is literally a weekend, maybe 3 days tops. The AI is doing 90% of the work, and your startup capital is what? Maybe $15 a month? Because the barrier is that low, massive crowds rush in, making the competition very high. But there is a silver lining. Because it's almost too easy, most people just don't have the discipline to stick with it. Honestly, just being consistent puts you way ahead of 99% of the pack. And you know, that need for consistency rolls perfectly into our next high competition hustle, which is AI ghostwriting. So many businesses desperately need content for their LinkedIn pages or newsletters, but they just don't have the time. This is where tools like Claude or Perplexity swoop in to handle about 75% of the heavy lifting. They do all the research and draft the prose. But don't gloss over that 25% human slice because it's absolutely critical. You are basically getting paid for your taste here. You have to edit out that robotic, generic AI tone and actually make the content sound authentically like your client. Looking at the ghostwriting numbers, the learning curve bumps up just a bit to around 1 or 2 weeks. You're going to need a stack of maybe 3 tools running you $20 to $40 a month. Now, competition is still high here, mostly because anybody can type out a basic prompt. So how do you actually stand out? It's all about positioning. If you pick a highly specific niche, like say commercial real estate or tech startups, and you feed the AI hyper-specific background data on your client, you instantly transform from a generic dime-a-dozen writer into a super valuable industry specialist.
That brings us to part 3, the medium competition middle.
Now, we're leveling up to the middle ground. This tier filters out the absolute beginners because it requires a bit more strategy, but it offers way more passive execution once you're actually up and running. The first method in this middle tier is building AI websites, specifically landing pages built to sell a single product. When you use AI builders like Wix or Hostinger, the AI swallows up about 80% of the workload. Literally, from a single text prompt, it writes the headline, lays out the design, and drops in the images. That completely frees you up to spend your 20% on the most important part, finding and talking to clients. For AI websites, you're looking at a learning curve of about 2 to 4 weeks. Now, you might be thinking, wait, if the AI does all the design, why is the competition only medium? Well, it's because while basically anyone can auto-generate a generic website, very few people actually understand how to build a landing page that converts a visitor into a paying customer. If you spend those couple of weeks really learning the psychology of killer headlines, social proof, and clear calls to action, you immediately separate yourself from the amateurs.
Speaking of separating yourself, imagine launching a whole business for literally less than the cost of a bad cup of gas station coffee. 99 cents. That is the wild initial startup capital you need for our next method, an AI-built Shopify store.
Seriously, that 99 cents gets your foot in the door of this incredibly automated ecosystem. You use a platform to build the storefront, and then you plug in an essential e-commerce AI tool called AutoDS to fill it with winning products. The AI in this model does an unbelievable 95% of the work. It monitors your inventory, it updates the pricing, it even ships the items directly to the customer. You never touch a single cardboard box. Now, because there are definitely a lot of people pushing low-quality junk online, the competition sits right at medium. But if you can master these tools to their absolute maximum potential, you can easily bypass that crowded middle.
All right, part 4, Blue Ocean AI Opportunities. We have officially arrived at the climax of our opportunity ladder, the blue oceans. Up here, the learning curves are noticeably steeper, but man, the upside is massive. Take a look at this quote. It perfectly captures the magic of our first blue ocean hustle, which is AI agents. In the source material, they did a live test call with an AI receptionist tool called Dial Zara. The host acted like a customer, calling himself Mark the Body Tilbury, and asked the AI about getting an 8-pack. Without missing a beat, the AI seamlessly responded, "I hear you want to trim down your midsection. What's the best phone number and email to contact you?" It navigated that weird conversational detour flawlessly. It just goes to show how remarkably human and competent these agents actually sound now.
Because these agents are so incredibly capable, the learning curve sits at about 1 to 2 months. And honestly, that right there is your protective moat. Setting up a demo for a local plumber or a dentist isn't exactly rocket science, but landing those first few paying clients definitely takes some real persistence. But think about it. Small businesses miss over 50% of their incoming calls every single day. That means these AI agents provide undeniable bottom-line value. The lazy crowd just isn't going to spend a whole month learning how to do this, which leaves the competition completely low for you.
Our next blue ocean method takes things visual with AI avatars. Using platforms like Higgsfield, you can actually design virtual influencers using simple sliders. No complex, paragraph-long prompting required. These avatars look completely real, but they literally do not exist. They can secure brand sponsorships, they never age, they never have to set up ring lights, and they absolutely never have a bad hair day. The source even points out this crazy detail. When you read the comments on these avatar videos, people genuinely have no idea the influencer is fake. It is wild to see how convincing they've become.
Now, while generating the actual digital face takes maybe 5 minutes, the real learning curve here is a pretty hefty 2 to 3 months. Why? Well, because the AI is really only doing about 70% of the total work here. Taking those static images and turning them into engaging videos, giving that avatar a compelling, believable personality, and building out an overarching content strategy, that takes some serious organizational effort. But because this is a brand new industry that requires genuine strategy and creativity, the competition remains astonishingly low. Okay, the final rung on our ladder is AI app building. Look, custom software used to cost businesses tens of thousands of dollars and required a degree in computer science. Not anymore. Today, using no-code AI app builders like Lovable or Imrint, you literally just type out a plain English description of the software you want, say a local investment portfolio tracker, and the AI just writes the code right in front of your eyes. You can build these tools for local businesses and charge a hefty project fee, or you can launch your own app and charge users a monthly subscription. This final method has the absolute lowest competition on our entire ladder. Yes, the learning curve is 2 to 3 months, but listen, it's not hard like learning a complex programming language. It's hard more like learning how to drive a car. You just have to get used to the back and forth flow of telling the AI what's broken and asking it to fix the bugs. Because the general public still incorrectly assumes that building software is this impossibly complicated magic trick, almost no one is actually doing this. So competition sits at very low. And finally, part 5, choosing your AI path. We've climbed all the way from those crowded, noisy bottom rungs up to the wide open spaces at the top of the ladder. So synthesizing everything we've just covered, the crucial point really boils down to this fundamental trade-off. It's essentially the golden rule of the modern AI hustle. A low barrier to entry absolutely guarantees massive crowds. That means your only real competitive advantage down there is flawless, unbreakable consistency over a long period of time.
But if you're willing to embrace a steeper learning curve, spending just 1 to 3 months mastering something like AI agents or app building, you cross over into a space with extremely low competition and massive financial opportunity.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question you really have to ask yourself after reviewing this explainer. Are you willing to embrace a steeper learning curve today to secure a low competition advantage tomorrow? The AI tools are literally sitting right there, waiting to do 80 to 95% of the heavy lifting for you. The only thing left to decide is which rung of the ladder you actually have the discipline to reach for. Thank you so much for joining me for this analysis, and I'll catch you in the next one.